Well, hello everyone. I am so glad to be connecting with you once again. Alejandro Tornato here, coming directly from, and today it is really beautiful and sunny here in Beaufort. I mean, yesterday was gray, was rainy, but the weather is getting better. But it doesn't matter what happens outside, it's always beautiful and sunny inside. And welcome to the what I called conversations with influencers, and that is part of my transformational mentoring Facebook page. And today, I am I am on top of the world because guess what? I am going to bring to all of you a dear friend, someone who I first met this lady uh, years ago. I don't know how many years ago, but years ago when I was living in Salt Lake City, Utah, a beautiful part of the country. And and I met her when I was very active with Toastmasters. And let me just bring her in, Sandra Hadlock. I mean, it's so great. I mean, that you are taking time out of your schedule, I mean, to spend a few moments with me. And we're going to be talking about something that is really, really an important topic, and hopefully, I mean, we are going to be adding value to a lot of people. But just for all of you, I mean, I'm sure that you all know, I mean, what Toastmasters is all about. And back in at that time, I was a member of a club, and I never got over the name of this of this club. You know, if you know anything about Toastmasters, some of the clubs, I mean, have very creative names, but I think that this just went over the top. But I loved it. I mean, and the group that I interacted with on a weekly basis, a great group of people. It was the Salty Tongues, believe it or not. And Sandra was also a member, and we met there, and it was great. So, Sandra, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing so good today.
Listen, if you know anything about Sandra, from the moment that you meet this, I mean, she's a trooper, and she's just, I mean, she talks. I mean, she was excellent, and she's still excellent at what we used to call table topics. And table topics was impromptu, extemporaneous speaking. And I remember some of the stories, I mean, that Sandra used to share with us. It was absolutely, absolutely great. And but just for you who are listening to us or who are getting, I mean, this recording later on, Sandra is a stay-at-home mom, and she is the proud mom of 3 kids, 15, 11, and 7. So for all of you stay-at-home moms, this is, and share with us a little bit of your activities as a mom. But this is like 2 or 3 or 5 full-time jobs, I mean, that you're doing. I mean, this is, don't think that just staying at home mom is just hanky-dory and then you are in bed the whole day. I mean, that's further from the truth. So what is your typical day, Sandra?
Oh, my typical day. I get up and I exercise. I try to get my exercise done really early. If I put it off, then it's too hard to fit it into the day. Mm-hmm. I have to get my 2 daughters that are still in elementary school. They leave for the bus at 7:15. Okay. So I got to get them up. I got to get them ready. I got to get them out the door. I got to make sure my 15-year-old is up, and he leaves at 7:40-ish for the bus. And then I thought, this is the first year I've had all 3 kids in school all day long. And I thought, oh, then the day will be mine. But the day is not mine. I have to get the house cleaned and the grocery shopping and all the other stuff that has to go on to make the household work. And
yeah.
So and then after they get home from school, that's when the real fun starts, and that's driving them to different activities and getting their homework done and all that fun stuff.
You see, I mean, it's when you think that the day that you own the day, think twice, because sometimes, I mean, it happens the other time. But one of the things that Sandra mentions, which I think I would like to concentrate during this conversation, is the fact that the very first thing that she does in the morning, if you pay attention to what she said, is I get up and I exercise. And the reason that I bring this to all of you is because Sandra is an example when it comes to the outdoors. I mean, she is, I think that I have to call her, she's a professional exercising machine. She is a professional runner. And I mean, how many marathons or how many triathlons, I mean, have you competed? I mean, if you can count that high.
Right. So to be clear, I'm not professional. I do not get paid for this. I do this all on my own. But I've done 5 full marathons, 26.2 miles. I've done probably 60 to 70 half marathons. Triathlons, I've done 2 half iron distances, and then a host of other distances that I don't know how many I've done.
Wow. I mean, that is when she, I mean, listen, I am sitting down and I'm already sweating and getting tired just by listening to her. But one of the things that I wanted you since and when I said a professional, yes, I know that you're not getting paid for it, but I meant professional even from a non-receiving any money kind of a situation. You are embodying the I mean, that part of your life as a professional, even if you're not getting paid for it. So what are some, because in order to do that, you see, it's not that just one day I get up in the morning and I said, okay, I'm just going to train for, let's say, a marathon or a half marathon, and then just take it very lightly. I mean, whether I train or I don't train, it just doesn't matter. And you think that you are going to accomplish all the things that you have accomplished without any pre-thought of what it entails to accomplish what you did. So when you are about, I mean, to do a marathon, or even now, I mean, yesterday, I mean, Sandra shared with me that she started training. Listen to me, what I'm going to say now. She started training, not heavily, but this is the beginnings, because in September of 2020, she will be in Wisconsin competing on a full Ironman. Now, a full Ironman, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But right now, what do you have to do? What is the frame of mind that you have to get into in order to accomplish a full marathon or whatever things you have done in the past? I mean, what does it take from you?
Oh, first and foremost, you just have to have confidence that you can do it. And the human body is amazing in that it can go a lot further than you ever thought that it could. And so I remember my first marathon was just, I had set a goal to run a marathon, and I was nervous I wasn't going to be able to do it. And so I religiously held to that training program, and still up to the starting line, I thought there's no way that I can make it 26.2 miles. And I did. And it was amazing. It was such an amazing day, and really showed me how mental it is compared to how physical it is.
That's now, when you started, when you thought about the idea of doing a first marathon, okay, what got you? I mean, why did you want to start? Is it because of the love of running, the love of the outdoors? Was it because you wanted to get healthier and fitter? I mean, what was the primary reason behind that?
Well, I started running after I'd had my first, I started running in high school a little bit, and then a little bit through college. And then when I had my first baby, it was just an easy way to get out, to spend some time by myself, and to get back into shape. And then I would run a lot of 5K, shorter distance races. And then I thought, I'm kind of a big, go home kind of gal. And so I had set a goal to run a full marathon. And that's how it started. I don't know that I love to run. I'm not passionate about the actual act of running, but I love what it does for the community. I love what it does for me as a person. And I love all that. The actual going out and putting one foot in front of the other is just a byproduct of everything else.
Wow, that's excellent. And that's what I said, that this is a space, I mean, for influencers, because not only you have to first of all overcome the idea that you can do it, and you have to begin thinking. I mean, one of the things, and I've talked to so many coaches and people, even in the personal growth industry, and they said that everything starts with a thought. Whatever we are going to do in life, whether it is running a marathon, whether it is becoming an entrepreneur, whether it be starting your own business, whatever it is, it starts, first of all, it doesn't start with the action itself, but it starts with the thinking about it and with the thought. And if that thought begins to resonate stronger in your subconscious mind, it becomes a reality. And I think that that's what happened. I mean, it's just the fact, yes, putting your foot ahead of another is just the technicality of running, but you go beyond that. I mean, you wanted to, I guess, make an impact in your community, perhaps be an example, even to your own kids and family and people that knows you, on what you can do. I mean, just the example that you give to others. So when you get into the preparation, I mean, for a race or for a marathon, do you start planning a long time before, and then you are wrapping up? I mean, as you're getting closer, does your everyday life changes somehow, or how does that work?
So for this particular race, the full Ironman, a friend and I have been planning this for almost a decade. And it started with this one that is coming up in September. Yes, the one that we're planning for in September.
Yeah.
So we started out as just two gals that ran together, and as we started talking about it, I said, I have this dream. This is what I really want to do. And we sat down and and decided when a good time frame was, with wanting to make sure that it didn't impact our families too much. We wanted to wait until we were done having kids, and that's why it's been a 10-year process. So we're both out of that chapter of our lives. And then over the last 2 years is when we really sat down and worked out the specifics of it, and what time of year would be great, what race would be good. And then over the last year, I really sat down and looked at every different aspect of my life and said, okay, how can I minimize what this is going to do to our everyday life as the person who kind of holds the household together. Sure. And so my motto is I'm a mom, then a wife, then an athlete. And so my mom duties come first, and then being the wife and the I want to say head of household, meaning that I'm the one that's in charge of the household. Okay. That comes next. And then my athletic pursuits come after that.
Okay.
And so I worked at streamlining as much as I could with meals, dinners, and with a cleaning schedule and everything to kind of make it so that it wasn't as disruptive to my life as I possibly could. And
was that process? I mean, from your perspective, was that very challenging? I mean, to be able, to put all those elements, and because in a sense you became like one of those jugglers. I mean, that you see. I mean, in a circus. You had to keep so many balls up in the air. And making that kind of a balancing act. I mean, was that very challenging? Was that very difficult to do?
So I found in my process of doing all this is that I really thrive on the making schedules and the
organizing.
Yeah, the organizing of it all, and kind of making the schedules out for all the family, and here's where I'm going to be at this such and such a time. I really thrive on making the training schedules and kind of honing in on our different strengths. My friend and I, she has 6 kids, and so her time schedule is a lot different than my time schedule. And so to make a schedule that we could kind of still meet together and exercise sometimes, but she could do a lot on her own when she could fit it in, that kind of stuff. I really found over the years that that's what I really excel at, is the organization of everything. And I really enjoy it. Sure. Sometimes I think I enjoy it more than the actual training itself.
Now, with this friend that you are going to be doing this Ironman, do you typically train together, or do you have times where you train together, but individually you do things separate?
So 3 years ago, we moved out of the area that I lived in with her, and I'm about an hour south of her. Okay. And so on Thursday mornings, I will drive to her and we run together. That is our set time to work out. Okay. And then maybe once or twice a month we'll get together for a longer workout. And we're hoping over the summer, when the schedules are a little bit looser, we can get together a little bit more than that. So that has been one of the biggest obstacles in this, is that when we started thinking about this 10 years ago, it was that we were going to train together. And when we did live in the same area, we did almost all of our training together. And then when we moved, it kind of added a whole new element to the training, but we're making it work the best we can.
Sure. No, excellent. Now, one thing that I want to ask you is, you're saying that this idea of doing this Ironman was in the back of your mind, somewhere in the back of your mind, for 10 years. 10 years ago. But it didn't start as just a more solid taking action on it when about 3 years ago or
yeah. Oh, about, I mean, it's always been there. Everything's always led up to this
Sure.
moment.
So how can, what do you think that it takes for a person to keep an idea in their minds for that long period of time? I mean, and in your case, I take it because I mean you're so passionate about this that the idea was there, but it never diminished in intensity. As a matter of fact, I mean you kept it alive and you kept it vibrant throughout this time until it finally now is becoming a reality. How did you manage to do that?
Well, so we broke it up into smaller pieces, and we've done together. My friend and I have done a lot of they call them sprint distance triathlons, and those are the smaller ones. And that kind of will isolate the different areas you need to work on. And so swimming, I'm not a strong swimmer, and so I have joined it's called a master's team, and it's for people over 18. And I go twice a week, and there's a coach, and I've picked up my swimming quite a bit. No, not going to win the swimming portion of anything, but I feel confident that I can swim 2.4 miles. And then, and also in the sprint triathlons, you look at transitioning between the different sports and what you can do to make that a little bit faster. And the distances are small enough that it's not impacting your life as much as something of this magnitude. And then it's just, and you're right, the intensity has never gone down. Since I made the goal that this is what I wanted to do, it's been, okay, how does this get me closer to that goal? How does this get me closer to that goal? And I ran my first marathon in 2007, so a little bit before that goal, but I've run 4 marathons since I stated that goal. And that the marathon is the last event. And so, like, what can I do to eat and the nutrition? I mean, there's so much that goes into something of this magnitude. Sure. That by breaking it down into smaller things, we've kind of, this is what works for this and this and this. And we've done long bike rides. I've done 100 miles on my bike. And so it isn't all new. Putting all 3 together is going to be new, sure. But the distances themselves are not new. And so that's what we've done over the last decade, is kind of prepare ourselves for this ultimate goal.
Sure. I mean, you mentioned something that is absolutely amazing, and not many people know about it. And when sometimes, I mean, I facilitate, workshops and seminars, then I ask people in the audience, I says, do you know what is the purpose of a goal? I mean, why? I mean, pretty much everybody that you meet, they have at least one goal. I mean, some people have multiple goals, but at least, I mean, everybody has a goal. And says, do you know what is the purpose of having a goal? And immediately everybody raised their hands and says, it's fulfilling the goal, it's achieving the goal, it's getting the goal. And I said, well, you are kind of right, but that is not really the purpose of having a goal. And they opened their eyes and they says, well, what do you mean? I mean, so what is the purpose of having a goal then? I said, the primary purpose of having a goal is the person that you are becoming to achieve the goal. Because when you start with a goal in mind, until the moment that you achieve that goal, you are becoming a different person. And you're becoming a person who is who really wants to achieve that goal. You're growing, you're developing yourself into the person you have to become to achieve the goal. So in your case, what is perhaps one thing that you can see that you are becoming, the Sandra that is becoming to achieve this Ironman in September?
So one of the things that jumps out is that when I started 10 years ago, it was about how fast I could do it. It was about how fast I could do any race and how much better I could get as each race went on. And then I had my third kid. And I kind of stepped out of myself, and I helped organize a running club out where I lived. It started out with just women, and it was everybody was invited, whoever wanted to run. And the people that showed up really surprised me because it was people who were not typical runners that aren't out to win any races. And over the next 4 or 5 years, as I was facilitating that group, it changed from me wanting to be the fastest to helping people achieve their own goals. And so I did a race last year. I did a half Ironman, and I ran into a gal on the run who was really struggling and didn't know if she was going to finish. It was really hot. And I helped her for 10 miles of the 13-mile run. And then by then, like, you only have 3 miles left, you're going to make it. And so that's what it's become to me, is more about me helping other people achieve their goals than how fast I can do my goal in. And I think that's where I've seen the biggest growth in myself, is that it isn't about me. It's about who I meet and the stories I hear from them and the reasons why they're out there, or what pushes me instead of what's on the clock.
Wow. Now, what you just said, Sandra, and for all of you who are going to listen to this conversation, we did not rehearse this. We are just raw here. No papers, no rehearsal. But what Sandra just shared with all of you is the great story of moving from success, because success is personal. It's just individual. But she told the story of success, moving from success to significance. Because when you're moving from success to significance, what significance is significance is not you putting yourself into the picture as, hey, look at me, how good I am, how fast I can run, how fast I can cycle. Hey, look at I am the greatest. That is perhaps success. But when it comes into significance, is what she just said. My goal now, my purpose now, my primary mission now is to help other people reach their goals. And when you're just going from you and radiate that onto others, and you want to help others, and you want to extend your expertise, your whatever, the value that you can add and bring to others, and help them reach their goals, that's a lesson that we all need to learn if we want to move into significance in the world, and we want to make an impact in the world and make a difference and leave a legacy. That's what it's going to take. That is of course you want to achieve, and I know that Sandra is very well equipped, and she's got not only the mental strength, the emotional strength, and the physical strength to get this Ironman in September completed. There is no doubt in my mind, unless there is a tornado coming in the midst of that event, if nothing happens of that sort, there is no doubt in my mind that she will complete. And just remind me, the Ironman consists of, there's a full marathon, so a full marathon of 26.2 miles. Then what is the swim?
The swim is 2.4 miles.
2.4 miles in addition to the 26.2 miles. And then what is the cycling?
So the cycling is 112 miles.
Well, 112 plus 2.4 plus 26.2. Now, in my mind, immediately says, for me, it's impossible. But remember one thing, is just taking it 1 mile at a time. And you have to make that transition. And sometimes it says the mind can play tricks on you, because it says, oh my goodness, I mean, what did you think? No way on earth that I'm going to do it. But it's just what she told this girl. Okay, she helped her for 10 miles of the 13 remaining. It says, you got 3 miles, you can do that. And she did it. So it's if we put our minds into doing whatever we want to accomplish in life, then nothing is impossible. Everything is very possible. Is it going to be challenging? Of course. Is it going to be difficult? For sure. Would it means hard training and discipline? Of course. But then anybody can achieve the goals that they set. And this is a great conversation. And listen, I am so happy that you made it available. To spend this few moments talking about it. And even, sharing that story, helping other people to get into that state of mind that things are possible. Now, before we wrap this up, I don't want to say it, but I want Sandra to just share what would your suggestion, what would be your word of encouragement for people who they may want to do something like this, whether it be from an athlete's point of view, running, or let's say, well, I have never run a marathon, or I've been running, but I want to tackle something of that magnitude, perhaps a half Ironman or a full Ironman, whatever it may be. So what would you say to them if they are in the tightrope and they don't know if they're going to do it or not?
Oh, what would I say to achieving your dream? I would say start small. And if you find that you want to get into running, find a friend. The biggest changer for me was having a group of friends that met me in the mornings, and I got to know a great group of about 7 or 8 of us who at any given time, 4 or 5 would show up. Only thing we had in common was that we ran, and got to know these people from all sorts of different walks of life. And that's what got me out of bed a lot of times, when self-discipline is only going to take you so far. And so to have the motivation of having other people waiting on you is huge. So find somebody that's in the same boat as you, and somebody or a group of people that want to run a 5K. And then you guys set your sights for a 5K. And then maybe the next couple months you look at running a 10K, and then it kind of goes from there. I started out in triathlon because the little community I lived in had put one on, and I thought, well, that will be fun. And I recruited 2 or 3 friends, and I loved it. I love the triathlon more than I love the marathons and everything. is that I love the three sports together. And when I did this race last year, this half Ironman, all my pictures have the dorkiest grin because I was having so much fun out there, and I'm not fast, and I think a lot of people get stuck on having to be the best. And it's okay. And something like running or something like triathlon, there's only going to be one winner. And chances are it's not you. And so it's okay that it's that maybe you're at the back or you're at the middle. And I always say the best stories are the people at the back, because they're the ones that are talking. They're the ones that are sharing. And you meet the most amazing people when you put yourself out there and you go for these big dreams that everyone tells you are insane, and you just keep chipping away until you finally have a plan, and then you say, I'm doing it, and here we are, we're doing it.
Wow. I mean, I tell you, it's great to hear you, sharing this, because this is truly, what personal growth is all about. Don't start to eat the whole elephant in one bite. Just begin cutting it into small pieces, and you'll be able, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you break huge and insane goals into small bites. And I think that the advice that Sandra just shared with all of us is timeless, because you can apply it today, and if we have this conversation 200 years from now, it will be equally applicable. Because it's just common sense. Sandra, you cannot imagine, how happy I am and thrilled of reconnecting with you, in seeing you so pumped up and so full of vitality and energy, as those times up at the Chrysler dealership there. In a Toastmasters meeting. You're still as bubbly, as energizing as ever. And I wish you, well, it's not that I wish you the very best, for this upcoming Ironman. You are, you're going to do it. There is no doubt in my mind. And you said, I'm not fast. It doesn't matter, but you're going to start, and you're going to go through the finish line. Whether you're going to be going through the finish line first, or second, or third, or 10th, or whatever it is, but you will accomplish that. There's no doubt in my mind. And thank you so very much, for taking the time. It's been great. I loved every minute of it. And so we just come to a close of another great conversations with influencers. We had Sandra Hadlock, and I'm so appreciative of you. And so remember, all of you, before I close, I always remind you to live every moment. And of course, Sandra lives every moment of her life. And be resilient, and also be kind, be passionate, be well.